Hi guys. So, just wanted to pop on to give you my weekly blog update, although it's actually 2 weeks, and I'll explain why in a minute. So, first of all, I wanted to mention Scarlett, my daughter. She is phenomenal and amazing, obviously, because she's my daughter. But she has lost in 5 weeks on step 3, 10 pounds. So she is on her way nearly to a stone. That is amazing on step 3. And she's also lost 5.5 inches across her body. So step 3 is 2 products and 600 calories for the rest of the day, including any milk. So everything you need to count in that 600 other than your 2 products. And that's how Scarlett's lost the 10 pound and the 5.5 inches in 5 weeks. So I'm super proud of her because she said she was going to stick to it, and she has. And what I'm most proud about actually is her water intake. You know, she's 21. You know, quite a lot of actually younger people and very old people quite often struggle with water, and she's drinking gallons now, and I can see she looks better, she's feeling better. It's just amazing. So really chuffed and happy and proud of her. So that's my baby. And then moving on to me. So I have not weighed for 2 weeks, and I'll explain why to that in a minute. So I lost 3.5 pounds. So I am super happy with that. That's in 2 weeks. And that was on plan 100%. And I'm doing step 2, which is 3 products and 1 200-calorie meal with just protein and salad or veg. That's your meal. You need to count it, you need to measure it, you need to make sure it's 200 and not 300 or 250 or whatever. It needs to be right, okay? But what I wanted to talk to you about today really is about those scales as a whole, and the negativity that weighing can actually bring into your life. Now, I have been talking to a lot of my clients about this for the last 2 weeks. And if you know me, you equally know that I have always been someone that will say to you, do not weigh yourself more than once a week. It's not relevant, it's not helpful, and it's not good for your mental health. So I've always been that person that would say that to you. But over the last couple of weeks, which I've also proven to myself, is sometimes even weighing yourself once every 2 weeks is too much, because I was feeling amazing. I felt amazing. I looked better. I was always, water's not my problem. So always drinking all my water. I could feel my clothes getting looser. So everything was amazing, absolutely amazing after 2 weeks on plan. I felt all this as I got to the scales. I'd been feeling it all for the last 2 weeks. I stood on those scales, and as soon as I stood on those scales, I looked at that number and I straight away thought, well, that's not enough. So I brought myself back down to ground, and I actually went, oh my God, you lost 3.5. That's amazing. But more importantly, you have been on plan 100% for the last 2 weeks. You haven't done that in a couple of years. So that is massive. And equally, what happened to those feelings of, oh my God, I feel amazing, I look amazing, my clothes are looser? Where's that gone? Now you've seen that number on the scales, okay? Now, again, I've always said that number on the scales, good or bad, does reflect on your emotion. You have to believe that and accept that. It does. So there it was, a great result, and I'm still taking it as a negative. So that actually, I got off the scales and I thought, do you know what? I'm not going to wait for 2 more weeks, because I can't be doing this to myself in a week when I know I'm on plan and being amazing. So that was my plan. But I've also been working alongside a different consultant, and they said to me, why don't you go and not weigh for a month? Because if you're on plan, if you're drinking your water, if you're not opening the box a little bit, then why do you need the scales? You absolutely don't. And therefore, when a week comes, a month, and you're feeling fabulous, amazing, then you will see the weight loss definitely, because you've been on plan 100%. Why do you need the negativity in between? So not only have I proved to myself stuff that I've always talked about, I've sort of double proved it to myself by putting myself in the experiment to not weigh for 2 weeks, and now saw my reaction and realised absolutely it's so true. I've also spoken to a few people this week where they insist or give me reasons why weighing helps them, in between why it helps them. And one of my lovely ladies, who I absolutely love, who was insistent that the reason she weighs is because it helps and that's what she needs to do. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'm not going to tell you that isn't, but what I do want you to do is I want you to go away and really dig deep and think about, is that true? Am I weighing myself? Am I obsessed with weighing myself because it does work for me and it's the best way and all the other stuff? And what I loved is she did go away and really think about it. And she messaged me the next day and went, oh my God, I've just had a light bulb moment. And I was like, okay, great. What is it? And she said, well, you know, I said to you that I weigh because it helps and that's what I do and etc. And I said, yeah. And she said, well, I've realised the reason I do it is because I like Haribo's and I like something else, I can't remember what it was, and I believe her 100%, she stuck to plan 1,000,000%, so she hasn't had any Haribo's or the other thing. But she said, in my head, I've actually got that if I get on those scales and it's really good and I feel like it, therefore I can then have that little bag of Haribo's, and if I get on those scales and it's good, then I can have this other thing. And I'm doing that all the time, but even though I've not touched these other things and I've been on plan 100%. So I'm like, okay, brilliant. So you've really drilled down to actually there is a reason behind this. And for most people, if not everyone, there is an underlying reason to most of the stuff we do. If not all of the stuff we do, there's an underlying reason. And sometimes those reasons sit on the surface and we're aware and they're not too crazy to face. And sometimes they're really deep set and they come from years ago, they come from stuff you've been through, all different stuff like that. And you don't make yourself look any deeper. You don't want to look deeper, maybe sometimes. And so you need to dig deeper, because ultimately you can lose weight. If you don't change your mindset, then you will always gain weight again and lose weight again and gain weight again. And what do we all want to do? That's not what we want to do. So we have to work on our mindset. And although through the years I have tried and I have worked on my mindset, I've never fully really dug deep into my mindset, and I am now. And it's scary, but it's necessary. It's so necessary. And obviously, again, if you know me, I've had cancer. I've now got 2 chronic conditions, pain conditions that I relate to my cancer. You know, I had a miracle baby. I had a baby at 26 weeks. I mean, so much shit. And there's other stuff around that as well, not just my health, other stuff in your life. And I now realise that so much of that relates to how I act now, or how I have been acting. And so I'm hoping that me digging deep like this and getting it all up and going through some stuff that's hard will be so worth it in the long run. So for you guys, I just really want you to have a think about, what do you do and why do you do it, and really dig deep. But think about those scales. If you are somebody that weighs a lot or more than you need to, which is really only once a week as a maximum, why do you do it? So, sending you love, and if you believe you can, you're halfway there. Have a good week.